I'd like to yield to the gentleman from Texas who first said we must be transparent in this way. We must be fair and honest in this way. The gentleman from Texas, the original author of the Baseline Budgeting Reform Act, Mr. Gohmert.
Recognized for how much?
5 minutes.
The gentleman from Texas, recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I am immensely grateful to my friend Rob Woodall. It was back in the 1990s I heard what apparently was a lovable little fuzzball, turned out to be Rush Limbaugh, talking about the absurdity of the United States government doing something that no person, no family, no business, no charity in all of America could do. And with due respect to my friend who just spoke, Mr. Van Hollen says, you know, businesses would go out of business. I would challenge anybody in this room to show me a business, show me a family, show me an individual, show me a charity that has an automatic increase in every year's budget. Because America can't do that. And I was shocked that this was going on. I mean, in the Army, I helped with the budget. In private sector, I prepared budgets. As a district judge, I prepared a budget. It had to be approved. We never got an automatic increase. You had to justify any change in anything. And if you needed an increase, you had to show why that was important. And the same thing has been true. I get to Congress never dreaming that that would not have been taken care of when Republicans took the majority. But in my freshman term in 05 and 06, the Republican chair of the Budget Committee said, we have to do the automatic increases. And I said, why? He said, because it's the law. I was shocked. We make the law. We can change the law. And then, of course, our friends across the aisle took the majority, and for 4 years there was no chance of eliminating the automatic increase in every federal department's budgets. But then we got the majority back. And for all the disagreements I've had with the Speaker, Speaker Boehner agreed that if Paul Ryan passed a zero baseline budget, ending the automatic increases out of committee, then he would bring it to the floor. Well, then it meant we had to have the right guy marshaling this bill, and it did, some tweaking was done, and I will be forever grateful to my friend Rob Woodall, who is as brilliant as his predecessor, a dear friend, John Linder, and he took this bill, and he marshaled it through, and Paul Ryan kept his word, and I'll be forever grateful for that. And it came to the floor, and we voted it through, and the Senate wouldn't take it up. And for those who want to talk about the children, I'm not hearing a lot of that talk today. Because when I talk to college students, high school students, junior high students, they're wondering why they're going to have to pay the debts that we were not responsible enough to pay. There's not a good answer. It is absolutely immoral. It's negligent. It's self-indulgent to say one generation like ours is so much more important that we have to spend future generations' money. And yes, if there is inflation, let's deal with it that year. But I've heard enough stories from people talking about, well, gee, this department apparently is out there saying, spend all your money, don't leave any, because if you don't, you won't get as much next year. Of course, they get an automatic increase every year, so they got to spend their money. That's no way to run a country. It is not right. And so there are some issues I have with the budget, but I know the heart of the man that was behind that, and I know he wants future generations to not be burdened with our negligent handling of our money. So it is time that we end the automatic increases in every federal budget. And when my friend across the aisle was talking about, gee, you could end up with half an aircraft carrier, good grief, we've lost aircraft carriers because of those automatic increases every year for decades now. There are aircraft carriers that won't be there because we couldn't control ourselves. We had to automatically increase everything we spent. Madam Speaker, it's time we did the responsible thing and ended the automatic increase in every single federal budget for next year. And I'll be continuing in my gratitude to my friend Rob Woodall, and I will yield back.
Gentleman's time's expired. The gentleman from